So these little warm-up questions, we're going to start with the first one. So the thing with this one is you have to do the brackets first when you're talking about brackets for bedmass, right? Remember, that's the B part, the brackets part. You cannot bring this in because it's not multiplication inside, right? The exponent laws only work if it's multiplication or division. You cannot bring it in across a minus or a plus. So we're going to work this out. We're going to go 16 minus, and that's 1 over 4. To the negative 2. So I'm leaving the negative 2 there. We're going to put this over 1 whenever you do fractions. So we're going to multiply this by 4 to get lowest common. And we're going to go, so 64 minus 1. So you can do that in your head if you want. I noticed some people are doing that. So 63 over 4, is that okay? Right, you don't have to show the middle step there. So it's 4 times 16, 64 minus 1, so 63 over 4 to the negative 2. And then we're going to take the negative. So I usually do the negative first, and I flip it around. So the negative means reciprocals. So we're going to take that and go 4 over 63, and it's still squared. So then you're going to square the whole thing. So remember, these arms grab from the top to the bottom like that. So you're going to grab the whole thing and square the whole thing. So the top, we can see 4 squared is 16, and 63 squared is 3969. And that's it. All right, let's just do 2. And then so 2 was, okay, 2 was, you take the numbers are the numbers, so 25 and the 15, right? And if you want to, you can pull that to the side and go 25 and 15. If I want to do that, I can divide the top and the bottom by 5, right? So you're just doing that, reducing it like a fraction. So for that one, the top divided by 5 is 5, the bottom divided by 5 is 3. So reduce it like a fraction. Then we had 2 choices, right? We had kind of 2 or 3 different ways to answer this. If it's a negative, you can bring it down, or you can do the subtraction, right? Remember, there's 2 or 3 different ways to solve this, all very good ways, and all following the laws. So if you want to, I can move this negative over here. And then I'm leaving. So again, I circled it last time. I said, okay, who moves? Only this one moves and this one moves, right? So only those 2 move. So then I'm leaving the n here, and I'm leaving the m cubed here. But these 2 will move. This one goes down to the bottom, and this one goes up to the top. Then you try to combine it or finish it off one more time and go, these numerator and denominator, can I do that one more time? And yes, you can. So we're going to keep the 5. That'll be n squared now. 3, and this will be m, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5. So you add it. Good? You want to just finish them? Let's just finish them. Question 1. Oh, 69. Oh, sorry. Typo. Thank you. Typo there. Thank you, thank you. Copied that wrong from the calculator. 3969. Thank you. There you go. So over here, let's just finish it off. This one here is the calculation question, right? So we've got the calculation. We're adding them. So we know, right, order of operations. We can't do the laws of exponents because there's no multiplication, division, or power to a power. So we're just calculating each one. I said I want to show this, see this in a separate step. Okay, some people weren't when they were bringing me their homework questions. So I want to see you do one step first. So you're going to do the 4th root of 81, which will get me 3. Okay, anything to the 0 gets me 1. So this here, we know when we multiply, that'll be 0. The whole thing is just going to be 1. So you can do that all at once. So if you want to do that in one step, you can do that all at once. You don't have to show 81 to the 0 because we already know it's to the 0, so it's 1. So if you want to do that fast, you can do that.
Was the to the 0 there before? Like, that's why I looked at the question, wasn't that? Like, was that always
Yes, it was always yeah, didn't see it. Yeah.
I thought you added that.
No, I didn't add it. No, it was there. So it's just sitting on the side. So 0 times that would get me 0. So you can go right away. You can show me 81 to the 0 and then 1. But if you want, that's an okay step to skip. Then you're going to do this. So I was hoping you would do this in separate, but I know some of you are doing it in one go. That's okay, right? So you go, here some people are going, well, I'm actually calculating the 27 in one go. That's okay, right? That's okay if you're starting to be like, oh, I want to skip it because you're getting used to it. But you can also do 2 steps, right? So if you're like, I'd like to show the 3 and then the 20, that's fine. Then we want to finish off. So we're going to do 27, 27, and we're going to get 1 plus 27, so 28 over 27, and we're done. Good, good. Right, so again, just trying to, this is kind of 4-2 to 4-3, just mixed up, right? This last one, right, and we're just simplifying this one here. So we can't fully calculate because we've got so many variables in our, we've got variables and numbers, but we can simplify as much as we can with those. I didn't do the one with the variable in the exponent. That's one, right? I didn't do that one, so we should add that tomorrow as a warm-up. Okay, so usually I like to switch these guys. So this whole thing, I'm going to switch it just so it looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to take this and go over there. I just like to switch it so it's all in fraction form. Okay, over here, same thing. I'm going to leave the 8x, and then this is, I'm going to change that to fraction form. So that here, right, that part there, I'm going to switch it so it goes x to the 2 goes on top, and the 3 goes on the bottom. Is that okay? We're switching it. Okay. And then here, I said if you can square root, remember, treat the number like a number. Square root of 25 is still 5. But this square root of that variable is 3 over 2. Does that make sense? So you square root numbers like normal, but this one I had to do 3 over 2. All right, then, and again, I'm just going to leave this guy out here alone. So I like to finish all of the inside, and then I'll do the outside after. So 8 over 5 I can't do anything with, so I'm going to leave that alone. But the variables, so these two here, I could do these two together, that one and that one. Okay, and that is, what's the invisible exponent? It's a 1, right? So you're going to add those two. So on the side, so in your rough paper here, you're doing this on the side. I don't need to see it. It's 1 plus 2 over 3. Okay, and then that's over 1, so 3, 3. So that'd be 5 over 3. And so that's going to be now x to the 5 over 3. So that's this one. Is that okay? Did I do that right? And then I'm leaving this one here alone on the bottom. I didn't do anything with it, 3 over 2. Make sure you kind of write it lower because it's hard to squish that fraction in. Don't do the slash. So let's not do we're going to not do these slashes as a fraction. I want x over 2 and stuff. Okay, so try not to do the slash. It gets more complicated the longer the question gets. You can't tell where the bottom is attached to the variable or not, so try not to do a slash. Let's just do over. Okay, it's clear, and then you're not confused with what's attached to what. Okay, so no slash, so not slash. Okay, so here, then we're going to do these two here, and we're going to, what do we do with these ones? Subtraction, so minus there. You don't, again, this part here is just for our notes. I'm going to keep this 1/3 on the outside, and then on the side here, I'm going to do 5 over 3 minus 3 over 2. And lowest common, so 2 and 3. And that would be 10 minus 9, so it's 1 over 6. Again, that is to get this fraction. And remember, we asked last time, you put it on the top. So when you do the subtraction, you always write it on the top. Right? So if I go 5 over 3 minus 3 over 2, I write my answer on the top, not the denominator. Okay. Okay, I'm done now. Nothing else I can do inside, right? So pretend it's like a separate question. Can I do anything on the top? No. Bottom is done. Inside's done. So I start moving out, and I go, okay, now I can do the 1/3. Right? So once you finish inside, so break it down. When it looks like a long question, break it into mini questions. Finish the top, numerator, finish the denominator, and now, okay, so now we're going to do this. So we're going to bring this into each one. Remember, the 8 also gets the 1/3. People forget the poor numbers, right? Because you're concentrating so hard on all the variables. All of them get multiplied, right? So that's a power of 1. So pretend that's a power of 1. That power of 1 also gets multiplied by the 1/3. So the numbers that don't have its own exponent have a power of 1. If it has its own exponent, it doesn't get another power. So I get 8 to the 1/3, x to the, when I multiply, 118, good, and then 5 to the 1/3. Can I do anything else? Yeah, I left one more thing to do on purpose. I said, look, you can actually, but I can't do the 5, right? Can't. Third root of 5 doesn't. So then this one I can do 2. There you go. I gave you 1 extra bit to do. And that's your beautiful answer. So all of this, actually, all the stuff at the top, simplified to that. So it is better. Still looks a little complicated, but it's better than what it was at the beginning. Any questions or clarification? Okay, turn that off.